They came out and they gave me a list of names, about 12 names, and they said, you must not annoy these people. These people are so influential in the area that if you cross these people, your job's going to be really hard. Today I'm on my way to see a manufacturer. I met them about 8 years ago when they were just at the very start of a succession process where the family were about to hand over the reins to the sons, and there were discussions around share ownership, company structure and so on. I chaired a lot of those discussions. I gather that has been successfully concluded, and I'm going to go and see them now to update them on what we're doing, any new opportunities such as funding. The most memorable thing about this business is I worked with them when they discovered, literally on a day, at an hour, at a minute, they discovered a single Google AdWord worth £1 million. It trebled the size of their business overnight and continues to generate £1 million plus sales because no one else has thought of it. And whenever I tell this story, the first question anyone ever asks me is, what's the word? And I won't tell you. And I'll never tell anyone. But I will discuss the process of how they found the word and how they turned it into a money-making opportunity. So I'm going to go to the session and I will update you later. So, met the directors, the family, and said, how's it going? And they said, very well. Taking on a few more people, great profit margins, still making loads of money of this keyword, and resolved the family structure, the company structure, the succession. Still have the same problems everyone else says, of course, which were staff turnover, staff sickness, productivity, quality control, all the same things every manufacturer is always battling, because if you're a person down, it has a big impact. So I said to them, maybe all the symptoms that you're talking about are because you don't have enough people here. And they said, well, yeah, that's exactly what it is, which is I don't have a contingency person, someone who I am not necessarily, well, the whole workforce, not necessarily expecting to be at 100% work rate because they cover. So you soon know if you haven't got enough people, because when people do go off sick, it impacts on your business and the directors end up packing, which, you may think that's crazy, but I meet lots of very smart people who sometimes, when their staff are off sick, come out of the office and do what's required, and that is, of course, the correct thing to do. It was an interesting piece of advice to say you haven't got enough people working here, because what you're actually saying is you need to spend more of your profit and make less money initially. Well, no one wants to do that. So you're never the cheery person in the room at that point. I don't think you've got enough people here. You need to spend £20,000-30,000 of your profit, which you spend on your own life, topping up your workforce so that you have less disruption, less time impact on the bigger picture. The stuff you do as a director that creates wealth, creates business, creates sales, and creates growth. And they're already in that space, to be honest. They're interviewing someone, but it's additionality. Take on more people. We then had a conversation about their business plan, which is integrally, we'll carry on, which is linked directly to moving. They have to move. And they have to move because they own all their land, and that is worth a good sum in property development. So they need to get off the land and monetize their asset. Now, they've been looking for somewhere to move to for 8 years without success. And I said to them, nothing really gives me the confidence that you'll find anywhere in the next 8 years, because I work on the theory that if you keep doing the same thing happens. So I don't really see that you're doing anything different, so I don't expect anything different to happen. And so this strategically important action move off the existing site, monetize the asset, the land asset. Most importantly, from a business perspective in manufacturing, have a blank canvas. Their current site is multiple buildings, gaps between them, people doing different actions. The work is flowing through the production process in a staggered way. Now, don't get me wrong, this business is an excellent, profitable manufacturer doing innovative work. But you can only, what's the word? If your layout has different parts of the process in different buildings requiring different site to actually make sure things happen, and transportation, if you know what I mean, movement, then you'll be less productive. And one of the directors was all over that. He said, we could make more money doing the same thing here if we're more productive. So I had staff turnover, productivity, quality control. All these symptoms are quite common in manufacturing, most of which, in my opinion, would at least alleviate in impact with a blank canvas new site. So after about an hour of talking, all roads lead to must find somewhere to move to. Which is when I said, I'll help you do that. Because he's registered with commercial agents, and he's been registered a while, and he speaks to them, he's met them. They never tell him when property's available. They never alert him that property may become available, and as a result, he doesn't find property because he's gone down the what I will call traditional, official formal route to secure a site. The reason they don't ring them or ring him, in my view, is there's too many buyers. Everybody is looking for a premium quality site, especially in manufacturing, where they can start with a blank canvas and do a new layout, a new structure. Well, if you've got too many buyers, I'm certainly not going to ring the people who I don't know. And I mean know. I don't mean have contact with. I mean have a relationship with. That doesn't mean I ring you and we meet once for lunch. It means I know you. I have a stake in what you are doing, whether it be emotional or real. I said, well, I came to talk to you about funding. This is all kind of linked because your whole business plan is completely founded on relocation. And that's a critical strategic element. I'll help you do that. I said, you go down the traditional route, you speak to commercial agents, you speak to, estate agents, property people, you do that, and I'll work with you, and I'm going to go into the, I think I called it the hidden sky. I'm going to go into the contact world that we mix in, which is people who have the trust of businesses, including property businesses, and people who are, strategic. There are a small number of people who have a lot of power in every area. And when I first took a job in this region, honestly, when I sat down, the first thing they did is they came out and they gave me a list of names, about 12 names, and they said, you must not annoy these people. These people are so influential in the area that if you cross these people, your job's going to be really hard. So, well, yeah, that's the same everywhere, isn't it? There are a small number of people with a lot of power and influence in business. And I said, I'll speak to them. So I work in business support. I said, I kind of know these people. I'm certainly one introduction away from most of them. I'll go and speak to them. And I'll find out when the property is going to become available. Not when it is available. I'll go and speak to them and I'll find out before it happens whether there's rumour or discussion about a land site or a commercial property being put on the market. That's why they don't get the calls. The deals are done on the good property before they're advertised. So I'll do that. And once we find a property, then we'll go down the funding route and we'll help fund machinery, outfitting the property, maybe even purchasing the property. And I'll work with you and we'll put time on what is not a clear profit-making activity. You don't see profit on looking for property. It's a bigger picture action. And that's what I'll be proposing we do And finally, I said to him, are you still, the owner of that keyword universe? Do you still own that as a money-making stream? He said, we sure do. And this is what happened. The family, one of the sons joins the business, and the business has been at the same level of turnover, working extremely hard for a number of years, like I'm talking decades. Son joins the company. He's got an IT background. He's sitting in his office one day and he's trying AdWords. It's an interesting idea, isn't it? He's not trying to make money off AdWords. He's trying different words to see if the phone starts ringing. That's the instantaneousness of AdWords. If I put a word up, the ad shows people ring me. And he spends an hour or two going through different options, and suddenly the phone rings. And that one AdWord, that phone moment, told him that there was income and sales on the end of that keyword that no one had thought of before. They didn't know there was a cluster of customers, a big cluster all over it. And so he sets up the keyword, he adapts the business to deliver what it is, and he trebles the size of his business in a minute. And that's the power of internet marketing.